excellence in product and service for their customers. And by the friends of 7.
Movie lovers, the splice of my life right here. Welcome to Saturday Night Cinema. I'm Bill Stanley. Glad you could join us this evening. Let's talk about awards. You know, besides the American Academy Awards and the New York Critics Awards, there is the British Academy Awards. And tonight's film, The Ipcress File, was the Best Picture in the British Academy Awards back in 1965. Oh, 1965, what a vintage year for young men like myself. Michael Caine stars in this motion picture as Harry Palmer, who finds himself drafted, yes, I said drafted, into the intelligence. Harry was on his way to jail, you see, for some money problems he created for himself in Germany. He joins Army intelligence, of course, reluctantly, because Ross, played by Guy Dolman, insists that he become part of the intelligence service. Either intelligence Harry or jail, so Harry didn't have much of a choice there. Well, Harry meets up with Jean, played by Sue Lloyd, and she is to be his work partner. And oh my, what a work partner she turns out to be. Well, there are all kinds of twists and angles to this one, lots of spy things, of course, and travel to foreign countries. So now, it's your chance to find out what really is the Ipcress File. If you're ready, we are, so let's roll it. The life of agents, counter-agents, and the most important document in Europe. Hope you enjoyed tonight's presentation on Saturday Night Cinema of the Ipcress File. Next week, it's Movie Madness, a double feature coming your way at an earlier time. Starting at 6 o'clock next Saturday, it's Jimmy Stewart and his invisible rabbit, Harvey. And then at 8 o'clock, it's more fun with Howard Keel and Ann Miller in Kiss Me, Kate. Should be a fun evening. Hope you can join us next Saturday at 6 o'clock. Now, stay tuned as we join sneak previews in progress, followed at 10 by Doctor Who and the 5 Doctors. Until next time, I'm Bill Stanley, and I'll see you at our next Saturday Night Cinema.
Local broadcast of Saturday Night Cinema is made possible in part by a grant from Becker Buick, Spokane's exclusive Buick dealer. Becker Buick, new car sales and leasing, and a commitment to provide excellence in product and service for their customers. And by the friends of 7. From Spokane, this is Channel 7, KSPS-TV.
Hey! Olga, listen to me. You are the oldest. You must take my place. When you are safe, you must write to your father and tell him what has happened. He will find a way to send for you. He will do that. He loves you.
Not like you, Mana.
I'll be all right. It may be better this way. I can be close to Glyceria and help her to escape. And the two of us will join you in America. We will.
Eleni devastated me. The movie was so powerful, I ended up in tears. You're immediately swept into this movie's events, and you feel as though you're actually a part of what's going on and are powerless to do anything about it to help. The film is also a good mystery as we carefully, with a great deal of suspense, wind our way towards Eleni's killer. The performances are inspiring, and though Malkovich is not nearly as compelling as Kate Nelligan, he's just as convincing in an altogether different sort of way. Now, I admit I'm often enthralled by true story movies like these, like Missing and The Killing Fields. And Eleni is a film of such force, I will never forget it. In fact, I'm picking it as the best picture of the year so far, at least.
Jeffrey, I'm astonished at you, and you say you'll never forget it. I will never forget the way you're overrating an essentially mediocre and disappointing motion picture.
Disappointing? This was powerful.
I recognize the sincerity of the attempt. It was a noble attempt even, but it fails utterly. The acting is all wrong. John Malkovich doesn't belong in that role. You're supposed to be seeing a son who's passionately on fire to try to avenge his mother's death.
That would be overdoing it, Michael. This is a movie about a war which most people here know nothing about. Its emotions get right to you because you can deal with them on a completely fresh level, and you see them for the first time, and they get you from start to finish.
The acting is out of focus, and you may say that the emotions work, but John Malkovich doesn't make me believe. He's mumbling, he's aloof, he's far removed, and Kate Nelligan does one thing time and again. She's playing a suffering Madonna. It gets utterly tiresome.
Yes, she's a bit Joan of Arc, Michael. I'll grant you that much. But from the moment you see her, you know that she's doomed, and you know that there's nothing.
Which is one of the problems. No suspense at all here.
You know that besides that, that's not the suspense. The suspense is going after her killer.
Yeah,
that's
but you know
where
what's
the
going to
movie
happen
works.
there, too.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
I think that most viewers will. And aside from that, one of the problems is the dialogue. The screenplay by Steve Stesich, the same guy who wrote Breaking Away, same director Peter Yates as well, is so literary. It's like words on a page. It's not like dialogue people
got
speak.
to me, Michael.
You can see it in those scenes.
I walked out of that picture shattered, and I think you should too.
What can I say? I think we disagree on just about everything about this movie, but one thing I think we can agree about, even about Eleni, and that is that there won't be an Eleni music video. Nevertheless, the proliferation of music videos has spawned a whole new generation of crossover stars from the world of rock to the world of motion pictures, and our own Nancy Glass is going to take a look at some of them.
They are slick, they are sensational, and they've changed the way we listen to music. Music videos have brought personality to sound, revived a financially troubled music industry, and they have turned recording artists into superstars. All of this has not gone unnoticed by Hollywood, where producers are capitalizing on proven commercial talent, hoping that they will be instrumental in bringing in an audience. This is not a new idea. Certainly Frank Sinatra and Elvis Presley proved that crossovers can work, but now more than ever, hot recording stars are being used to ignite the screen.
If I built this fortress.
One of the most prolific crossovers is Sting, who, by the way, does have a last name and a first name, Gordon Sumner. He has dropped his police escort and has attracted a lot of attention with his movie career. In the latest Frankenstein tale, The Bride, he was Frankenstein, not the best man, and this was not the best movie. He's also seen with Meryl Streep in the film Plenty. His is a small but powerful performance, which includes the longest non-kiss in screen history.
What's love got to do with it?
Tina Turner made a stunning comeback in her musical career with the album Private Dancer and was equally successful in the movie Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. As Auntie Entity, Tina performed in a lower key than one might expect, but she was still magnetic on screen, and she's probably the only grandmother in America who looks great in spike heels and a mini dress made from a chain-link fence. What's age got to do with it? Grace Jones, who has spent years creating tough, androgynous characters for her concert performances, has been very successful transferring her musical persona to the big screen. Let's face it, nobody looks like Grace, and it was easy to see her as the tenacious warrior in Conan the Destroyer and as the ruthless villainess in A View to a Kill. Amazing Grace can steal a scene with a smile or a snarl, but she'll never be cast in the remake of Gone with the Wind.
She's fantastic. I knew she'd be a star.
Though less seasoned, Madonna added her own kind of life to Desperately Seeking Susan, particularly at the box office. It could be argued that Susan would have been dry goods without this material girl. For the performer, there's very little risk. Even when their movie is a real stinkeroo, failure only lasts until their next hit single. When a crossover works, it can add dimension to a successful career and make the audience take note.
Well, taking notes, summarizing, but not singing our opinions on the movies we reviewed this week. Thanks, Michael. We were divided about White Nights. I thought the scenes with Baryshnikov and Gregory Hines on the dance floor were sizzling. But Michael found the whole picture contrived and ridiculous. And we're divided again on Flanagan. Michael found the characters unappealing and the plot slow-moving and pointless. But I thought Philip Bosco in the title role was so powerful, he's worth watching an otherwise rather drab film. But we both quickly hung up on Transylvania 6 5000. It was silly, forced, and relentlessly juvenile and unfunny. And we disagreed again on Eleni. I think it's the film to beat for Best Picture of the Year so far, but Michael thought the acting was badly out of focus and the dialogue was hopelessly stilted, Michael. I still can't believe that.
Well, there's no accounting for taste, at least Jeffrey's taste. So join us next week when we take a look at Santa Claus, the most expensive Christmas movie ever made, and Bad Medicine, a zany comedy about an American medical student abroad, starring Steve Guttenberg. So until next week, don't forget to save us the aisle seats. Still...
You can catch a complete encore of sneak previews tomorrow afternoon at 5 here on Channel 7.
Funding for sneak previews was provided by this station and by other public television stations.
This is PBS, the Public Broadcasting Service.
Public television, I think sometimes it's interesting, sometimes it's entertaining, sometimes it's surprising, sometimes it's wacky, but it's always great television.
Hi, movie lovers. This Saturday night, it's a special Movie Madness starting at 6 o'clock. It's Jimmy Stewart starring in Harvey. Then at 8 o'clock, it's Howard Keel and Ann Miller starring in Kiss Me, Kate. Should be a lot of fun. Hope you can join us on TV7 Saturday at 6 o'clock.
Halley's approach toward the sun sets off the chain reaction that first caught the attention of astrologers in China centuries ago. The comet's surface explodes from the heat.
Our most celebrated celestial visitor, Halley's Comet, returns to Earth's skies in November 1985.
The comet traverses the orbits of nearly all the planets, passing by Jupiter, the asteroid belt, Mars, and our planet Earth. On the last leg of this dash, an international flotilla of spacecraft intercepts Halley, history's first close encounter with a comet. The fascination and excitement behind this encounter in space is that it opens a new window on our universe.
Watch a Planetary Society television special, Comet Halley.
Comet Halley is coming to 7 Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. From Spokane, this is KSPS-TV, Channel 7. Local broadcast of this program is made possible in part by a grant from CHQT Radio, the best of old and new. QT 1110, Edmonton.